Okay, gang, I'm just waiting on the hosts of this show to pull me into their room so I can do my camera thing. We'll get started soon, hopefully. So, stick around. Hang out. We'll see, I guess. Not sure how tonight's gonna go, but hopefully it will do well, and you guys will enjoy it. Nice to see you, Quantum Fantasy. Nice to see you, Apex Valkyrie. Nice to see you, the Shapingro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, like I said, I'm not in their live room yet, and so I'm waiting on them, I suppose. Hello, can you hear me? Hold on. Give me a second. Can you hear me? Yes.
Excellent. My co-host's camera is not working for a sec, so he's restarting, and if that doesn't work, then we'll just go without his camera and we'll be all right. We'll call it good enough.
Okay.
Unfortunate to have these technical errors. Sorry to waste your time. Appreciate you.
Not a waste. It's fine. I get it. Give me 1 second, please.
Yeah.
Just setting it up so my audience can see you, which I think they can at this point.
Beautiful. Incredible. My first time on the Wick TV. This feels incredible. I can't tell you the joy that's searching through my body right now.
It's evident in your tone, your posture, your body language, all of it.
It could be.
It
It could just be
exudes it through the
yeah.
screen. Yeah.
Could be the massive amount of energy drinks that I've consumed today to make up for my lack of sleep. But it's equal parts that and pure joy flowing through my body.
Okay.
How's your day been so far, partner?
You know what? So far, so good, but there's still plenty of time for things to go wrong. So here we are.
Always, always. In this world, more than ever, you're just looking around around every corner for it to go wrong these days.
Oh,
What a
expect
mess.
the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah, and fight desperately for the best. That's what we got to do out here, brother.
That's what we're gonna try to do.
That's what we're gonna fix the world, Wick. People like you and me and your audience. Little bit by bit, we're going to change this planet.
We're gonna do something. We will leave our mark, right? Our crimes will echo through eternity.
I hope it's more than crimes. I think, you know what? Damn that. You've already done good with your channel, Wick. I want you to believe that in your heart. As he stares awkwardly
What
into the
is
camera.
what do you mean I've done good? What good have I done?
My God, I thought that was one of my first questions. I thought you'd have an answer.
Well, you said it, and I'm curious what you mean.
Oh, I think the way that you have tried to create a space for people to express themselves and see each other better and have good conversations. I mean our channel's called the Marketplace of Ideas. I think we hold much in common, I hope,
We'll find
about
out.
believing
Yeah.
that people having these conversations and normal people getting to express themselves is a really important thing, and I look forward to seeing your continuing contributions to the space. How long have you been going? I I feel like I've been watching you for most of a decade now.
It hasn't been a decade. It's been about 3 years at this point.
Has
Yes,
it
I think
only
three
been 3 years?
years.
I caught myself like it feels like 2 years ago saying that I've been watching you forever, but maybe it just feels that way. I swear
Well,
I'm not a fake fan here. I've been
no, you're
watching.
fine.
Are you really only 3 years into the space?
So I started going on to open panels, I think, in 2021, but I didn't start my own stream till about the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023, something like that, right? It's been a while.
I
And
guess time is a flat circle.
yeah.
It's all been mushed together. Everything from 2017 to now is just a blur to some degree.
Yeah. Are we still waiting on your co-host here so we can get
Yeah,
started
yeah.
and get your intros, all that done?
Oh yeah. You're
Okay.
gonna
We'll give him a
it's
minute.
going to speak deeply to your liberal heart.
Well, my audience is just asking who you are and
Oh yeah. Well,
all
I'm
these
James
things.
Vagabond. Welcome to the Marketplace of Ideas. We are trying to create a political space for uh, much like Wix space to have better conversations and ideally see each other better. A lot of the values I spoke about a moment ago. We're try and add in we like to have fun. We like to be silly. We like to mess around. We've got a bunch of interesting games that we're trying to develop to make a gamified system in our Discord. Like later on, when you guys call in, you'll be able to win Grift Coin, our for fun game token. It is not not a scam, I promise you. And you use that to play in our games, debates, and that sort of thing. We're building out a really fun space, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
Well,
I look
hopefully
forward
we'll find
to
out, I guess.
yeah yeah we'll find out once we get there. The vibes will be reset once my intro plays. You'll just be
Oh,
overcome
you guys
with
have an
your love
intro?
of
I'm
America.
curious.
Yes, with music written by our currently absent co-host Kyle. He
Will
was
we
a
be
music
able to see
major.
it on Discord or?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
will be streaming it to Discord.
Okay.
Um, momentarily. Uh, sometime
At what
today,
at what
most
point
likely.
at what point do we just say let's just get started and talk?
It'll throw the rhythm off a little bit. We usually do a bit to open it. I don't know if he's got a great bit, but um, give it 2 more minutes
Sure,
before
we'll give it 2
this.
more minutes.
You're a king.
It's all good. No, I understand. Look, I get it. Technical mishaps, people no show you sometimes, right? You got to be
Yeah,
flexible. You got to
yeah,
know what to do. And sometimes you just got to kill some time till someone arrives because they're late. And that happens.
yeah.
I get it.
Oh yeah, I've watched enough of your streams to know that. Yeah, it's like herding cats to get. I
A
mean,
little
it
bit,
to get
yes.
normal, responsible people all together in one place can be difficult. Let alone streamers. My God, what a world.
It is a different style, okay, than I'm used to. I was in the military for a while, and you were there 15 minutes early in your seats, ready to go, and yeah, and it started on time every time. Well, unless something was going horribly wrong, but yeah, so yeah, streamer world's a lot different though. Streamer world, you're never sure if they're gonna show,
Yeah,
right? Like there's
let
people
alone
you
on
learn
time.
like that you invite that you like, okay, these guys or girls are regular, they are reliable and all that. And some people just aren't. Okay, what are we doing here? Hold on. Let me get
I've just put up the thing for you to tune into.
yeah, give me a second. For whatever reason. Okay. It's there.
Hey, perfect. Look at that. Within the 2 minute aforementioned time.
Ah,
Hi.
I believe, Kyle. This is Kyle. Kyle
hey,
Wick of the TV. You may have seen him on the TV,
once or twice.
wicking out.
Let me just see if I can get this camera to work properly.
I believe in you.
It, that is more than I can say for myself, unfortunately.
All right. Well, you work on that. I'm gonna go live, and we're gonna get this thing kicking.
Okay.
Our forefathers fought for liberty, individual freedom, self expression, and the right to self determination. They created a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, establishing a nation of free individuals who ignited a bright beacon of hope. America's a land where any person from any background can succeed, so long as they endeavor forthright with determination in their heart. A melting pot, the greatest hits album of the human race. We gather here today to renew that sacred bond, that oath to freedom. Welcome to the marketplace of ideas.
That's
Very
right.
patriotic.
Welcome everyone. That's right. Yes, we love our American values here. God, I'm making that sound sarcastic. um, welcome everyone once again to the marketplace of ideas. Uh, Kyle, what are you
Yes,
working on there? Are you
I'm
here?
I'm still here. Yeah. Just working on my camera.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Marketplace of Ideas, a cross-ideological space where we discuss everything from the silly to the serious, where we try and bridge the gap between disparate people of all ideologies, where we talk about things that matter and sometimes things that don't. Gosh, that sounds familiar. Well, that brings us to our guest, Wick TV. Welcome, sir. Welcome, welcome. Some
Hi.
people... Hi. Some people have accused you, Wick, of not moderating enough. Others have accused you of moderating and jumping into conversations when it's not your turn. Some people have accused you of being a Fed op, working secretly behind the scenes for the Democratic establishment. Uh, and yet others still have accused you of both sidesings on behalf of right-wing extremists. So I guess my question here is, how many shekels does it cost to buy your allegiance? And do you accept Griftcoin, the official currency of the marketplace of ideas?
So I only get paid in USD. Okay.
Smart.
The American dollar, because America is the best place to be. As to my allegiance, it really depends. I got a tier system. Okay, there's different levels that you can subscribe to. You have the low key allegiance tier, which is I will simply tell you you're pretty, and then go out and bang all your friends, and that's pretty cheap. Then you have the higher loyalty tiers, and it goes up in price from there. You get more benefits, right? But yeah, that's me.
Tier 2 is very pretty. And what tier is goodest boy? Because that's what I need to sign up for.
Look, if you
Sorry.
want it customized, you're gonna have to pay a little extra. We have some
Noted.
customization options that you can get to.
Very
And
sorry to
welcome, we
interrupt,
actually
gentlemen.
have Kyle here.
Sorry. Hey, James, it seems that we are
Oh,
not
son of a bee
streaming
sting.
on
I
our
clicked
channel.
it 3 times. You know what? It's on Wix time. We'll do it live. We'll click it back over. We're keeping the momentum. It's on. It's on. We're here at the Marketplace of Ideas. Move forward. Oh,
Okay.
this is going so well. Just like we talked about. All right. Well, as well as that went, let's get into some more specifics. What did you make your channel? What inspired you originally to put your voice into the arena, Wick TV?
So, again, when I was first introduced to this space in about 2021-ish, I saw a bunch of people talking on various panel shows. And I had, growing up, watched panel shows on cable television, on news. I used to watch Bill Maher back in the day. I still do on occasion, right? But they'd have different pundits come on and they'd discuss news of the day. They'd discuss various topics, things like that. And I saw, and it was Prime Kai's channel that I first came across. And I saw him have just a bunch of people on, and they were talking nonsense. And it was nonsense. It was just nonsense. None of them knew what they were talking about. None of them had any grasp of any of the concepts that they were speaking on. A lot of them got their facts wrong. Most of them weren't very funny or entertaining. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to hop on and I'm going to give my 2 cents as well, because I'm also not funny. I'm also not entertaining. I also don't know what I'm talking about. So,
And I also want to get paid for BSing online
well, I didn't
about
know
politics.
they got paid at first, right? I
Yeah,
thought they
yeah.
were just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and eventually I was like, oh wow, you can make some serious money here, and no one was doing it how I wanted to do it. And I'm kind of a control freak in a few ways, right? And so I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it my way. I don't want people to choose the topics for me. I don't want people to do all that. I want the ability to drive conversation when I feel it's interesting and to stop conversation when I feel it's not interesting. And so I just started my own channel, and I don't know, some people like it.
Yeah, you've had a lot of great conversations on there. Are there any values we talked about a little before I launched our end of the show, but are there any values that what are those values that you thought were missing other than some sort of general what you felt was
Sure.
missing?
No, I get you. So yeah, what I was talking about before was like the technical aspect. I think that the technical aspect of what people were doing, I just wanted more control of that. But when it comes to what I want to do with my channel, like politically and from an ideological standpoint, I thought it was important to really kind of stand up for freedom of speech, and I didn't see that happening in a lot of spaces. I saw a overt amount of censorship, not from the platform so much, so there was that, but from people in the community. Like, you can't talk to this person, they're a bad person. You can't talk about this, our rights are not to be debated, or whatever. And I felt that it was making people weak at debate, like their ideas weren't ever getting challenged properly. And also, I think that sometimes I just want to discuss a topic because it's interesting to me, and I wanted the freedom to do so. So my, again, original channel was not called Wick TV. It was called Death of Certainty. And the whole idea behind it was to get people together and to discuss anything. Any topic was open to discussion. Any any kind of viewpoint was allowed. Um, Now, whether the audience liked your viewpoint or whether people agreed with you, different story. But you wouldn't be kicked out just for having a different opinion. And so that's what I started with, and that's what I was trying to do initially. Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Really important for people to be able to defend their ideas. I think as we've seen the two sides split off into their own echo chambers and bubbles, we lose the ability to engage with important ideas that need to be dealt with. If you let it fester in the darkness, sunlight is the best disinfectant. I think it's really important for us all to be able to get out there and fight for our ideals
I agree.
and have these important conversations. Yeah, and I really respect the way you've done that.
Okay.
What allegations of bias do you feel like have come with some meaning behind them? Do you feel like how do you stay unbiased in these sorts of
I
conversations when
don't.
it's your job? You don't. Okay. So admittedly, you're just willing to say that, I'm putting my
Everyone has
my
bias.
finger on the scale. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So when I'm how that bias manifests can be in interesting ways. A lot of times I'll find myself being harsher on the people I agree with than I am on the other side, simply because either A, they're arguing it in a way I don't find convincing, and that annoys me as someone who agrees with that side. Like, you better be good at what you're doing. Why are you here defending a concept I care about poorly? Sometimes I do it to kind of counteract the natural bias that I recognize I have. Like, I am more on this side of the line, so I'm going to, in order to counteract that like natural bias I have, be a little harsher to my side. Now, that's not always how it manifests. And obviously, sometimes I'll ask more pointed questions of one side than the other because one side's just obviously wrong. Um, but we try to, when I say unbiased, or when I say fair, because I won't say unbiased, when I say fair, and you're going to get a fair hearing on my show, what I mean is you'll have the opportunity to be heard. right? That you will be able to get out what you want to say, and you'll be able to present your side. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to disagree with you or that I'm going to pretend not to disagree with you. It just means that you will be able to have a voice.
Yeah. Um, well, what are some people that so you said you didn't like the way things were going. What are some examples of bad moderation that you didn't like? Is it mainly
Look,
about bias? I'm
it's
not
not
trying to just get
about,
you to call
hold on,
people
it's not
out.
about bad moderation, though there was that. It's
Yeah.
about there are different styles of moderation that people enjoy more than others. It's a subjective thing. There is no thing as a perfect moderator for all things, right? Some people enjoy a very hands-off approach. They'll go on and all they want the moderator to do is to keep people from interrupting each other and to keep um, the conversation
At least
going
mildly
on
hinged.
topic, right?
Sure, that too. Yeah.
Um, I don't do that because I like a moderator who will not only keep them from interrupting, but also make them address the problems with their argument. And so what a lot of times will happen is someone will either not address what's being said or the topic at hand, and I'll have to come in and say, "Hey, why aren't we talking about this?" Right? Like, this is like the elephant in the room. We're going to have to address it. And I have opinions as well. And I've never been an observer. I've been more of a participant, and this is true with almost all nature, like all the things I do. Sports. I don't really watch sports, but I enjoy playing them. I don't really like watching things, but I enjoy participating in them. And so if it's my show, it's in my channel, and I want to have a say, I will. That's it.
Yeah, that's actually one of the major reasons that Kyle actually wanted to get on this. He was tired of seeing conversations just derail into definition debates and people not actually answering questions. Isn't that right, Kyle?
That is true. Yeah, I'm kind of new to the whole online debate bro brain rot space, and I put it
I'm the
off
more
for a
terminally
while.
online of the two of us. I'm the
Yeah,
deeply brain. I'm a recovering debate bro, and
James
that's
did
that's
a
part
great.
of our journey here on the show is trying to help me be a better faith person who can have conversations with people he disagrees with without them hating me. That's that's something we want to encourage around here is try to be able to speak to your political opponents without them hating ever being near you.
We've got a question from the YouTube chat directed towards Wick, if you'd like it.
Yeah, what do we got, Kyle?
Chapingra asks Wick, "How do we find the truth if we put our bias as a focal point of the discussion?"
Hmm.
Well, some debates aren't about finding truth. Some are just about entertainment. Some are about advocacy. It really depends. But when it talks about finding truth when we are seeking to find truth, how do we do that while our bias is there? Well, that's the thing. You can't ever remove your bias. It's a fool's errand to try. But what you can do is realize that it's going to affect your judgment and then act accordingly. So that's pretty much what you got to do. You got to realize, like, hey, I'm naturally inclined to believe what this person is saying because they are on my side. And knowing that that's true, you can adjust accordingly. It's the people who think they have no bias that are most likely to fall prey to their biases, ironically, right? Because they don't realize that they have a bias in the first place, and they'll think it's just, oh, that's just a natural thing, that's just truth. And that's almost never the case.
Yeah. Um.
I hope that
So
answers his question.
yeah, I liked it. Chipinger's a big helper on our show. He's always hanging out in the background. Good gentleman. So we should probably give you the link for Collins at some point. In a minute here, we're going to get into the meatier discussion of what should resistance look like in the Trump administration,
Okay.
as well as a little bit of a discussion about best practices and what are sort of the limits of resistance against fascism and that sort of thing. You know, we've heard the term fascism be applied to the Trump administration for years, but more and more people are coming around to recognizing the serious threat to democracy that they pose. So we're gonna have a little discussion about that here. Um, but I definitely have more questions on what is it that you think is keeping people from having the right conversations, keeping people from seeing each other on more of a national scale. Like why are we
What do you
so
mean by that?
divided these
Seeing each
days?
other on a national scale.
Uh,
What do you mean?
what I mean is uh, we live in different bubbles on the internet. Um, that's my answer to why we have such a divide in our culture these days.
Well, and
Is
that,
yeah, go.
sorry, I didn't. I just wanted to say those bubbles also inform the people that we talk with on a regular basis. It's a regional thing too. My understanding is that Google search results and other algorithmic things are affected by where somebody lives. So somebody who lives in like rural conservative Ohio is going to be having completely different conversations from people living in the Northwest Coast, and that's heavily informed by the kind of content they're getting on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
So
your
that bubble expands
yeah.
from just the internet.
So is your question like why it's hard for people to have conversations with people who they normally wouldn't? What exactly is your question?
My question was going to be basically what do you think the biggest factors are in creating the huge schism in the different ways we see the world these days?
Sure.
More than ever, it seems like we're all in our own little bubbles. And so, first question, how did we get here? And then, how do we get out?
Oh, how did we get here? We were put here. Okay. This is something that a lot of people make a lot of money on. It's
Yeah.
very, people think that a common cause, right, to advocate for a positive thing will bring people together. Like, we're all going to come together to fight for free healthcare, or we're all going to come together to fight for this value. We're all going to come together to fight for X, Y, or Z, right? And that can happen. But what drives people even more than that is shared hatred of a thing. We're all going to band together to fight against this person or this thing or this cause. And the algorithm, which was mentioned by your co-host Kyle, right? Not
That's
only
me.
Yes.
not only does it gatekeep by region and things like that, but it will push you in certain directions. So if you click on something, okay, if you click on a video, what it's going to do is going to show you more of that thing because it thinks this person engaged with that thing. They must like this thing. They must want more of this thing. And you will get deluged with that
Sucked
thing.
into the rabbit hole.
Yes, yes. And so what happens is that people realize this early on from a political perspective is we can get people into different pathways if we just kind of start the pipeline. You hear about the pipeline thing. We'll start like with we'll use the manosphere pipeline, right? Young man wants to learn about how, you know what, I suck with women. I want to know how to better talk to women. So they start going and looking for like tips on dating and things like that. And they'll click on one of these videos and it will start them down this pipeline. And politics is mixed into that, right? So you eventually get to people like Andrew Tate, which gets you to Trump and the right wing and all these other things. And again, it's just naturally fed to you, right? These are the options that you are shown. And so these are the options that if you don't take any effort, and most people don't, you're going to take.
Path of least resistance.
Yes. I also mentioned how people will gather together to fight a thing, right? Fear and hate motivate. And so accounts like Libs of TikTok and other such things have been very, very good at giving you things to hate. So they'll take the worst of the worst, the nuttiest, the craziest shit from the other side, and they will say, this is all of the other side. This is representative of the other group. And aren't these people crazy? Look at the crazy shit
they'll
they're
take
saying.
the craziest 1% of the craziest 1%
Yes.
and use and pretend that that's 48%
Yes.
of the Democrat or more.
Yes.
48% of the nation. The other side is all just the crazies.
Yes. And
Um,
so that's how we're gotten here is everyone thinks that the other side is literally insane because that's all they see of the other side. Because the algorithm is showing them crazy because crazy gets clicks. And as I said, once you click it, you're going to be shown more of it. And so it all comes together. And this is, it's a little more complex than this, right? But this is kind of a TLDR version of how we got here is the algorithm, social media. All these things have put us in these boxes, and politicians and influencers and people who want to make money off of this have all figured out that's how it works, and they're all playing that game because it makes them money, gets them influence, and gets them power.
Yeah, I agree that that's pretty much how we got here. There's these giant media conglomerations that are not motivated by, helping us keep a good society, keeping us, friendly towards our fellow citizens, our fellow human beings, etc. And instead just maximizing how much time they can keep us on their platform, on their devices so that they can, get their profit out of it. It's nothing wrong with a bit of profit, but when it's seated in such a way that it's turning our entire civilization one against itself, it doesn't. So that brings us to the question: how do we get out of this hole that we've dug for ourselves?
Good question.
Yeah.
I think that the only way we are actually going to move on from this era of politics, and I don't know if we will, to be clear, I don't think this is something that will happen.
Naturally or easy.
We got to put the phone away.
Oof. Oof.
We gotta stop going on Twitter.
You don't think that would be
stop.
bad for business, Wick? No,
It
you
would.
need to tell them
And
to
it's
tune
a
in
trap,
to
right?
Wick TV more. And
It's a trap, right? It's
Yeah.
a trap. And unfortunately, there is good there, but it is so outweighed by the amount of slop. Yeah, you just gotta turn it off. You just gotta stop. And unfortunately, I don't think we are because again, it's useful in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
right? Because they tie
You pay your rent on your phone these days. You
in a
do
lot of
everything.
ways.
You
Yeah.
pay your electric bill. This is the way you look for jobs is by connecting with the internet. You'll if you don't look at your phone I didn't look at my phone for 2 days and we were at fucking war with Iran, pardon. You have to some degree, you feel like you must stay hooked in and plugged in, and it's our form of entertainment. I'm a little skeptical that's the way out. Maybe in some long term, in some better future. It seems to me like we have to engage with this beast. We have to fight from our sides.
Well, that's
And
part of how it traps you.
yeah,
Because you
could
have
be.
to be you feel like I must do this because if I don't, something terrible will happen. The other side is doing this, I must do it too. And I think that that's one of the traps. And look, I'm not saying it's wrong even, right? Because obviously social media is influencing people. Obviously social media is very powerful. It's a very useful tool, not just for politics, but for a whole host of things. And you're kind of like hurting yourself if you don't engage with social media to a certain degree. If you're someone who wants to be involved in politics, but we have to recognize that it is hurting us, and so we have to, when we engage with it in healthier ways. And it's still going to be a problem There's still going to be issues with it, but if we can engage with it in healthier ways, we can help mitigate some of the harms that come with it. I think the rise of populism, which I think is one of the biggest problems that we're facing in American politics today,
Yeah.
is brought up by social media specifically. And populism is one of the most illiberal, speaking of liberalism and stuff like that, is one of the most illiberal ideologies out there, right? It really takes away from the rights of the individual, from limited government, from things like that, right? Populism is all about the collective in a real way. You have right-wing populism, you have left-wing populism, but all populism hurts. All populism is going to be an illiberal ideology, and we should stay away from it. But you feel so drawn to it when you start engaging with it online, right? And you feel, well, everyone feels like this. Everyone wants the same things I do because that's what everyone on my phone is saying. The only people you see speaking are the people who are crazy on the other side, right? Or the people who agree with you. And obviously, we want the people who agree with us to be in
We
charge
gotta win.
and the
We
crazy
gotta
people to
win.
go away. And so here we are. Yeah.
Yep. Locked in an eternal struggle on Twitter. Uh, that's where Armageddon will be fought. It won't be televised, but it will be tweeted. The apocalypse will be, the revolution will be
the
tweeted
revolution
about.
will be streamed.
It will be live streamed by average dopes on the internet. I love it. All right, so now that we've touched on liberal values, what I play the definition game. I look at I've rewatched 3-hour discussions on the definition of fascism. Liberal is one that I've found hard to tie down, and there's a whole array of associated characteristics. What are the fundamentals of liberalism that you think are the most key to our society?
The most key.
The
Well, how
most
about I
key.
just talk about what I think are what makes a liberal? Like, what are liberal values? I would be hard pressed to rank them. But I could just
Sure.
give you about 5. How's that?
Sure.
Sure. Individual liberty. So personal freedom, autonomy, the ability to make one's choices for oneself, and not to have undue pressure from a collective, from the government and things like that. To have autonomy as a person to make your own choices. I think that is a core liberal value. Now, that doesn't
Freedom
mean
of
is
speech,
without
freedom of
limits,
association,
right?
freedom of conscience, the freedom of belief.
Well, yeah,
Super
yeah,
important.
freedom of speech, etc. Right? They'll all tie into it. Equality is another one, right? And I'm not talking like economic equality here, though that is certainly can be argued to be part of it, but like a
More and more it is. Yeah,
equality
that's
before the law. So that means no matter who you
absolutely
are,
key.
who your daddy is, right? No matter whether you're rich, whether you're poor, we're subject to the same set of rules, right? We're playing on the same field. That, I think, is a core, important liberal value that exists. Like, so we got the ability to make one's choices, to have freedom of association, etc., as we said, and also, 2, that we're playing by the same rules, by the same set of laws, and we're all subject to this, the great and the powerful, as well as the lowly and the slow, right? Consent of the governed is the third one, right? The ability to, like, okay, what limits, what laws are we going to pass, right? The people will decide, right? Like, we consent to be governed by a body. We consent to give up some of our personal freedoms to the government, but we consent to it, right? It's by our choice. We have a say in it, and that's important, right? Again, liberalism isn't anarchy, right? Just because you believe in personal freedom doesn't mean you believe that the state doesn't have a right to set limits. It's what those limits are and who decides. Consent of the governed plays into that. And thank you for the raid, Killer Queen. I really appreciate you. We're talking liberalism today, apparently. The fourth, I would say, is probably it relates to them. But I guess the best word for it is pluralism. Are you guys familiar?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
The-
The kind of a
Live and let
toleration
live.
of
Yes.
other cultures, of other ideologies, of other religions, of other peoples, of other ideas. So even when you think the other person is terribly wrong for what they're doing,
Or living a life you wouldn't choose for yourself.
exactly. You, again, within limits, there's none of these are absolute, right? Within limits, you tolerate it. You allow it to happen. You don't have to like it, but you can't go and tell your neighbor that they can't be a Christian, and they can't tell you that you can't be a Muslim, right? And that's kind of like the rule set forth. It's a liberal values. A liberal will tolerate illiberalism to an extent, right? It will tolerate other liberals who don't share the same ideas that they have to an extent. And of course, there's limits on all of these. And the fifth, I would say, would just be, and I guess it's really closely related to the first one, individual freedom, would be freedom of speech, right? And I put that one in a separate category because I think that that's the one that's often comes under the most attack, right? And I think that freedom of speech is just fundamental. The ability to speak out against the government and to speak out against your neighbor if you think the neighbor is doing wrong, or your community and things like that. All that's important. So.
Yeah. Maybe we will. Kyle, are you there? Hey, Kyle. Hey,
I am.
Kyle. How
What's
are
up?
you doing? Are you the co-host of this show? Do you got my back at all for this?
Uh,
You-
well, sure. What do you want me to say?
Oh God.
This is your guys' show. Well, are
Yes,
you
it
guys?
is.
Do you guys consider yourself liberal? Would you consider yourself a liberal, Kyle?
Well, James himself. I mean,
Oh,
I don't want to say
instead
he's
of
a
answering,
communist.
you're just gonna immediately throw me under the bus as
I don't
someone
want to
who
say
is
that James is a communist, but I just want that when he described the movie Red Dawn as the movie where the good guys lose.
not true. Not true. Totally unfair. I
You guys ever think the
Kyle,
wrong
you're
side
just
lost in World War II?
Well, that's the other
uh,
accusation we've got. Dylan
Sure.
Burns accused us of being crypto groypers.
Kyle, the last
Crypto
time you
groypers. Why? Why were you crypto groypers?
I don't know. I
nobody can
couldn't
put a thumb on our vibes for some reason.
I couldn't tell if he
Uh,
was joking or if he actually got that impression
So the
somehow.
reason I
thought-
know you guys aren't crypto groypers, because groypers are better with tech, okay? And you guys have struggled. So
Yeah,
that
well,
one's out of
you know,
the
we would be working a lot harder to lie to you people if we were gripers. Is that what it is?
maybe.
Yeah. I- Well, great, Kyle. Instead of answering yourself, you've just thrown me under the bus. I do identify both as a liberal and a communist, and I understand the contradiction there.
Hold
I
on.
understand.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on,
know.
hold on.
I know.
Oh,
Here we
wait a
go.
second. Give me a second. Give me a second. So are you being serious, or is this a bit?
Truly, no. This is serious, and I've considered it for a long time. I recognize the contradictions in private property and the way that the economy would work, yada yada. I think more so, I believe that the way to creating a capable communist society would be by perfecting liberalism in the short term. And so I think I could be considered an ally to the cause of liberalism in the short and medium term, and
So until we get the wall, right?
no, there is no wall in my version of communism. I am the least worrisome leftist
I
and
don't know if I believe you.
commie. I don't blame you for not believing me. I come from a bit of a Christian background, and I'm an atheist, and I still live those values too. I think that we need to, the contradiction that people always point to in communism is the lack of freedom. And that is my time to go. No true Scotsman. Communism has never been tried. Uh, it's it's
I
I
can
do
point.
believe
Hold
that
on.
there's
Okay.
yeah.
I can point to societies, even though no society I think is perfect at it. Right. I
Mhm.
think even America gets a few things wrong on this. Where liberal values are enshrined and codified and part of the culture. They are practiced and things like that. Where you have, again, freedom of speech, tolerance of pluralism, where you have individual freedom, you have uh, equality under the law, you have consent of the governed. I can't point to a communist regime, whether current or in the past, that had any of those. Not one.
Yeah, it hasn't gone great, has it? This just turns into me making excuses on why these were not real communist states. If the people it's supposed to be democrat, it's stateless. How could it be anti-freedom if there's no state to enforce it?
You
When
understand that you cannot have freedom unless someone is there to enforce it in a real way. You have to have someone to protect your ability, like freedom of speech. Let's use that one as an example. The government in the First Amendment doesn't just protect you from the government, right? The First Amendment in America doesn't just protect you from the government. The government is supposed to protect you from other citizens. So that means that you can't get fired, right, in certain conditions, or, right, that you can't get beat up, I guess, more correctly, I guess, because you can't get fired for freedom of speech and certain things. Freedom of association it's a thing. But legally speaking, like, no one can beat you up because of what you said. Like, you can't go out in the corner. No one can go and just start kicking the shit out of you, right? There's a whole lot of list of protections that you have against other citizens that they can't throw you out of the public square just because you're speaking your mind, right? You can't have a mob formed against you and grab you and throw you out. Without a state, you don't have those freedoms. You don't have those protections. It's a might make right thing.
Unless you have a society of people that are devoted to those ideals freely of their own choice. Like I said, I don't think communism is the sort of thing that you could create in a short-term period. You have to get rid of a lot of barriers. You have to get rid of scarcity. So until we have ways of getting past scarcity, you have to find ways of making the economy produce things for people and pay people differently based on the onerousness and difficulty of their work and how much training it requires. Until we solve a lot of these problems, communism is just a pipe dream, and I will disavow.
Why call yourself a communist, man? Why are you even going toward these goals?
I don't I don't spend a lot of time discussing or trying to push towards communism. I do identify primarily with the liberal cause.
Okay, are you a commie too, Kyle?
No, I
Yeah, he is. Fuck you, Kyle. You're a communist now.
No,
You
I'm
have to
not.
suffer
No,
with
I'm
me.
not.
You have to
No, I'm
suffer
not.
with me.
No, I'm not. I like to bait James because
Because he's a commie.
Exactly right. And I was planning. I had a nice bait joke planned for the intro, but
I knew
my
you did.
camera do you just steamrolled past? Like, no, I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to let him make fun of my communism today. No, it all comes from an episode where we had Ryan Mullally on, and James
It was
made
going
allusions
great
to his
until I mentioned that I identify with communism on some level.
And I didn't go hard enough to like stand out against that communism. So ever since then, I've been making a stand to call out the redness of James's political idea. No, I'm baiting
it's the cap. I should have known.
That's the giveaway.
That's
the giveaway.
It was a clue. It was a clue,
anti-ice
gang.
cap, okay? There's actually a linen shortage around the world for red yarn because people are making anti-ice red caps. Ours was used from all recycled fabric, so we're not a problem, or we're not part of that linen shortage. This was purely morally done. I don't know.
To answer your question, I identify myself as a left-leaning liberal. I'm sympathetic to progressive ideals and am open to certain policy moves in that direction. I wouldn't identify as so identification is a tricky thing because certain terms get co-opted, definitions change,
Well,
and
what values do you hold? If you tell
my
me your values, I can tell you what you are.
sure, my values are individualism, personal freedom, but also taking care of each other. So there is an
That
element of
sounds like
collectivism in
liberalism to
there.
me, baby. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you're not necessarily required to take care of one another in liberalism. That would be
perhaps not,
a
but
free
But
choice of
hold on,
association.
liberalism does not prevent you from advocating for the state to care for other people. Progressive tax incomes, they're not an illiberal value. Liberalism perfectly is able to encapsulate these things, right? Locke talks about it, right? And Locke's one of the founders of liberalism, and he talks about like it's a kind of like a social contract. The state agrees to protect some of your freedoms, and in return, you agree to give up some of your autonomy, right, to the state in the form of taxation and other these things. These are not incompatible with liberalism. Now, liberals can have, and they do, strenuous debates about the limits of these things. But yeah, it's not an illiberal thing to have a progressive tax income or even wealth redistribution to an extent, right?
So long as it's done democratically, sure.
Well, not
yeah,
just that. There are like it again. There are
I
thresholds
just mean
here, right?
taxation in general, yeah, and providing for people.
But yeah, so
yeah.
taking care of others isn't outside of the liberal umbrella.
I would agree. The reason I
It's
said
not
that is
required by it, but yeah.
there have been terms that have been thrown around like social democrat or democratic socialist, where the term socialist is it's really referring, if anything, to the more Nordic idea of socialism and not Marxism. Uh, I used to call myself that term when I was younger, and I feel like that just doesn't really that's not adequate. I would say that I'm liberal and leaning left in the form of a very
Sure,
progressive tax bracket
social
system,
liberal.
and
Yeah.
yeah, a social liberal. Maybe that's a good way to put it, which is kind of feels like almost what James said he was, but not as dirty for some reason.
No, it's not. Okay. I want you to sit with this.
Okay.
Yes,
Communism not
sir.
only
Yes, sir.
doesn't uphold those values that I mentioned earlier, right? Individual freedom and things like that. It destroys them. It cannot exist with them at the side. You cannot have a communist regime and individual freedom. Collectivism will subsume it. It will destroy it.
Uh, I think that on the long term, these two things will be seen to be part of the same project. I think
Okay.
as we build into a world that has been so developed that there's no place left for someone born into that system, we will recognize that we have to work together, and we are going to be forced more and more to make decisions on behalf of one another
Working together
through your
is
liberal system or
not,
not.
again, working together is not outside of the umbrella of liberalism, right?
Indeed, but at
We
some
look,
point
we
the
worked
majority will
together,
rule over
liberals in
yeah.
the old day worked together to rebel and defeat monarchies. We won. Liberals went total war against fascists in World War II. We won. Liberals fought communism from an economic lens. We went to economic war with communism, and guess what? Liberalism won. Like, it's just, again, if we are to progress, liberalism has defeated each ideology that it has come into conflict with so far.
You hear that,
Um,
James? So you cut that communism out now.
Yes, stop it. Seriously. Don't be a communist. You'll
Sure.
be a better person
Okay.
if you're not a communist.
Well,
I think that
you know
there's
what? Luckily, I spend most of my time advocating for liberal values. So I promise I don't spend my time batting for the authoritarian lefties online. I dislike that bent in the modern communists as much as you do. And you will, as many times as you ask me to distance myself from those people, I will do it at least that many times. Okay, I promise. My God, Kyle, your only contribution so far to this has been calling me a communist, and you have the biggest smile on your face that I have ever seen.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm in rhythm. See,
You-
I baited you as I outed you as a dirty commie, and now I feel like I'm a part of the show properly. Where like
right.
my getting over my camera screwing me.
I am so sorry that I identify with the concept of communism. I just believe that at some point we have to look out for one another, and I don't think that
That's such a
pure
silly
markets are
thing to
going
say because
to
that's
solve this.
meaningless. That's a
Sure.
gobbledygook. It means nothing to say we have to work together. Yeah, cool. A lot of ideologies, not just liberalism, there's a lot of ideologies that believe in working together. Why communism?
Sure. You know what? Let's just say I don't have a good answer and move on to something we agree more on, which is I didn't come here prepared to
Hold on,
defend
no.
the concept of communism.
Why not? If
Why didn't I
if
come?
your friend here, Kyle, I don't know if he's your friend, right? But your co-host, let's say.
Maybe not
If
anymore,
co-host,
goddammit.
if your co-host, if you know that every time he's going to make a joke and out you as a communist, which you are, why are you not prepared to answer like a basic question, why communism?
I think it's mainly because my conception of communism isn't what most people are normally used to dealing with. Uh, I don't believe I find people in error when they talk about the ML Marxist Leninist concept of an authoritarian state. That seems to me contradictory to the claims of Marx and the concept I have in my mind of what communism will look like. Um, I don't think in the end that it is contradictory to the values of liberalism of self-determination and the ability to uh, have your freedoms, and I don't think it necessarily has to conflict with democracy either. What are the specific values that you think are necessarily incompatible?
So, yeah, I think individual freedom for one, right? Communism, as I understand it, unless you have a proprietary definition, which I don't know, right? Communism does not allow you your personal individual freedom to choose. It will assign you, right? I think it was from each according to their ability to each according to their need, I think is the quote, right? And rather than your individual freedom to say, well, I want more than that, or I want something different, you just don't get that choice under communism.
Well, I mean, to some extent, the confines of reality make you do that under capitalism as well. You don't get all of your and once you've engaged in a democratic process, your individual ability to decide is overruled by the democratic will of the majority.
To an extent, that might be true, right? I agree with you. But the limits are much different than what would be in a communist system. And I would point to how communism has been done, right, in the past, right? It always ends up that they into a dictatorship of some sort or another, where you are unable to differentiate. One of the things about a liberal system, a democratic liberal system, let's use the Constitution, for example, okay? I think it's a pretty liberal document for the most part. It places limits on what the democracy can place limits on you. Like, it says that there are certain things that the government, the state, the collective cannot forbid you from doing and cannot force you to do. We have the Bill of Rights, right? They can't unreasonably search and seizure. They can't. You have a right to remain silent, right? To not incriminate yourself. Freedom of speech, freedom to own a gun, freedom from cruel and unusual punishment. There are things that the government cannot do to you, and in communism, you don't have that.
According to what definition?
According to the historical implementation of communism in general.
Okay, well,
So,
the
like I said, you might have
historical.
a proprietary definition of communism. Fair.
Well, you're just saying that all the attempts have failed, and therefore it could never succeed. All the attempts have had anti-democratic characteristics, so it can never have democratic characteristics. I don't think it would be like saying in 1906 or whatever, before the Kitty Hawk flew, that every plane crashes and cannot fly, therefore planes cannot fly, and all things that crash and cannot fly are communism. It
Okay,
doesn't
well,
follow from
let me
the.
ask you then. What? Well, just tell me then how it works.
How does it
How
work?
does one retain their under a communist system? How does one retain their right to be free from undue governmental influence? I guess, what is communism to you? Like, what is communism? Let's start there.
That is an excellent question, and one that I did not come here prepared to answer.
See, now I actually feel bad. This was
Thank
this
you
was
for having some empathy finally in this conversation, you
well.
you
I,
rotten bastard.
I,
You know
I
what, Wick, I will come prepared another day to talk.
Call in my show next week.
I
Call
would
in my show
be
next week,
happy to.
Tuesday
I
at 6
will,
p.m. Eastern.
and I will redeem myself. Tuesday at 6 p.m. You say, sir?
Or tomorrow even, I might have. No, I don't have. No, tomorrow's a debate. So next week.
Okay.
Next week,
Next
I think
Tuesday?
No,
Beautiful.
I
I
don't
have
know for
Tuesdays
sure
off.
what next week's going to bring. So
Please get me out of the hot seat.
No, I'm absolutely. Tell you what, you come to my call-in show whenever that might be next week, and you should have an answer when I ask you, what is
Yes, sir.
communism?
Yes, sir. Absolutely,
Okay.
sir.
I'm kind of curious.
Thank
Wick.
you, Principal Wick. I'm sorry that I didn't do my homework.
Wick, I'm kind of curious. Are there any communistic ideals that you do find appealing or sympathetic to your perspective in some way?
I guess if I were to think about like why is communism appealing? Because it's nice to have your basic needs met, right? It would be nice to not have to worry about, hey, where am I going to eat next? Where am I going to sleep? Where do I need a house over my head, right? Like, how am I going to pay rent? Communism purports to solve these problems. Like, how do we solve the problem of some people don't have enough to eat? Some people are impoverished. And communism says, well, we can, through, again, the dictatorship of the proletariat and through economic seizure of the state, or the state seizing companies and things and forcing them to produce and setting prices and all these things, they can provide for these needs. I don't think it works is the big problem, the biggest issue with it. It doesn't work, but I am sympathetic to wanting to help others, wanting to see to people's basic needs and all these things. I'm sympathetic to that.
Do you think that it doesn't work because of human nature or because we just have too much scarcity? That we just
Sure.
by the nature of not having enough to provide equally for everybody in a way that feels
But
like
here's the thing: if we live in post scarcity, we don't like the idea of solving for these basic questions does not come up because it doesn't need to be solved. It's no longer a problem. I think that, again, giving a individual or a group of individuals absolute power in a way that exists under communism or has historically, yes, there's going to be massive amounts of corruption. There's going to be massive amounts of abuse of that power. The people who will seek that power will, again, tend to be the type to abuse that power. And that's why I think that a liberal system puts a lot of limits on those powers because it recognizes that tendency, right? Communism doesn't have that baked into the cake, at least not as I understand it. Again, I'm not an expert on communism, and maybe James next week, when he can answer the basic question of what it is, will have a better answer for me. But, right, like, I think that to answer your question, yeah, I think it's the human nature of the thing that makes it so it doesn't tend to work out.
Well, I think that, touching on this idea of if we could provide for everybody, then we might as well. I think that that's mostly where James is coming from his idealism of what a communist society could look like if there were the resources and if there were the will.
But that will
In
happen against in almost any system where that's a possible.
maybe
If we
so,
once we live in post scarcity, the question of who gets to eat won't be the question. We won't have that question, right?
right? Hopefully,
I mean, look,
shit could go real bad.
sure, but then it's no longer
We're
post
on the way
scarcity,
down
is
that
it?
path already
Right.
of the real bad future. We've got oh, I was about to say billionaires everywhere controlling the levers, but now that I'm a communist, that when you guys hear that, you're gonna go, oh great.
Here, do you want a nice? Here's a nice palate cleanser, James. How do you feel about Hassan Piker?
Not a fan. Absolutely atrocious communist. Not a real communist, much like all of forms of communism that have ever been tried.
Only your
Um,
communism is the true communism. That's right.
that's right. It's just about believing. It's just kind of it's a vibes thing, Wick. Oh God. um, all right. I think that's hopefully enough bashing on my personal ignorance, and hopefully wait, have we humiliated me quite enough, or do we need a little bit more?
I
Do
think
we
that
want to get one more barb in there just to
uh
make sure it sticks?
uh uh you're basically VI Lenin. I think that James in his advocacy does advocate genuinely for liberal values and
Thank you. Jeez.
and should not be associated with the with the communist chaff that litters the online space. So while I do personally get a lot of joy from baiting people with James's
Maybe we
communistic
should bring it
ideals,
to a close and move on to something more pressing uh, and more pertinent, which is uh, what are our shared values for how we most ideally resist the Trump administration, and what are the limits to doing so? Um, yeah, you know what? Without even reading off of something, uh, in the Declaration of Independence, it says that we must attempt all oh sh I was going to pull myself back, but I haven't. I'm sorry, I'm terribly underslept. Basically, in the Declaration of Independence, before you can throw off fascism, you have to attempt all other reasonable means. I forget what the direct wording is. I've got it written down somewhere here, but I've been thrown into an absolute panic at being found out to be a fraud communist. Uh Our conversation today that we intended to have was, what does it look like to ideally resist the Trump administration? Um, we are in a time of unparalleled threats to our democratic fabric and our ability to control what happens in our society. Trump's already tried to overthrow the democratic process with January 6th, and people are being basically executed for attempting to express their freedom of speech. And then even more disgustingly, and I would say, is immediately the Trump administration lied and declared these people enemies of the state. It seems like something that would happen in communist Russia, and that's bad. What happened in Russia is bad. Um, what do you think the limits to our resistance look like? Now that Trump is, by many people's considerations, a fascist, uh, what is stopping people
I am
from?
so tempted to ask you what a fascist is, but I'm
Oh
worried that you
no,
won't have an answer
oh
for that
no,
either.
I have a much better answer for that.
Okay, tell
Obviously,
me,
you can
what
go.
is a
You, I
fascist?
mean, you can go through Umberto Eco's like 13 points, is it, of fascism, which he's talking about more the social germ of what creates fascism rather than what defines fascism. A definition of fascism that I really enjoy. Well, to go through Umberto Eco's points, you've got ultranationalism, you've got a mythic core of the identity, you've got authoritarianism, anti-democratic tendencies. Lot of generally it's defined, especially in Umberto Eco's case, as uh,
Sure.
conservative and ultranationalists.
I guess the answer your question of how do we resist Trump specifically? I don't even know if we need to like. I understand that a lot of people want to call him fascist, and he might be. I'm not saying he's not. I just don't think it matters whether
Yeah.
Trump is a fascist or not. What he is doing is destructive. It's evil, and it needs to be stopped. So rather than sitting there with people and debating whether or not it's fascist, whether or not it's anything, we could just say what he's doing is wrong and needs to be stopped. It's anti-constitutional. It's illegal. It's immoral. And here's how we do it. I think that the first thing, what are the limits? I think that right now, for everyone, the limits are the system that we have in place, right? We have the midterms coming up. That is looking to be a tsunami for the Democrats. When we have control of the House and possibly even the Senate, we'll have the ability to stymie Trump's cabinet picks, Trump's ability to govern, and things like that, and perhaps even impeach him depending on the margins, right? These are all things that will help stop him from further destruction. That is step one. So before we even consider other options, the option of electoralism has to be gone. And it's not, right? It's not. Now, do I think that Trump's going to do something fucky-wucky in the midterms? I think he is.
He's gonna try.
But I don't think he's going to succeed. I think there are too many guardrails in place that have held, and I think that it's just impossible at this point, right? They didn't even pass this. They couldn't even pass the Save Act, which was like their opening shot at this.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that anyone calling for violence at this point is not your friend. Anyone calling for violence at this point is is playing it in Trump's hands, right?
Yeah.
And is going to give him exactly what he wants. And so no, violence is not the answer. So the limit is electoralism. The limit is politics, and that's the field which we should fight on. And now look, it gets a little different if certain things happen, right? Like, so if he is able to successfully thwart the midterms, then a lot of other options come open. But I just don't think he will. So.
Yeah. I think, like you said, the most important factor here is like it plays into his hands to resist in violent ways. To when those shootings happened in Minnesota of those innocent protesters, they were ready to go with propaganda to try and churn out and use that as an excuse to go on to the next thing. It feels to me like they were waiting for something like that to happen. It was something they've been trying to provoke the entire time with the brutality. And when that occurred, it seemed like they wanted to take it, even though those were people that were so easy to empathize with and support. You know, we have a mother and a VA nurse, and even still they tried to try and provoke more of a reason to take more civil rights and more control over the nation. And uh, to me, it felt like that proved that this was their goal, was to try and create as much chaos and anger in people. And I'm really proud of how my local Portlanders reacted, which is by
Oh, you're from
bringing
Portland?
silly to the Syria.
Okay.
Yeah, are we
Okay,
surprised?
no.
Are we
I'm
really
connecting
surprised?
Dots are getting connected. Okay, I understand.
Yep. It
Carry
all
on.
checks out now. Yeah. We here in Portland, we fought the serious with the silly. We brought out our silly animal suits. Uh, Another really effective one that I love when they're throwing the I'll call them projectile penises. The rubber dildos. A very funny way of just taking the piss out of the administration, and I think we have to win the hearts and minds. I think it's ludicrous to think that we should start a violent conflict over this.
Sure. I
Not
just
only is it
want
one that we lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to make it clear. We are winning.
Yeah.
We are like you talked about the ICE stuff, the shootings. That more than anything was kind of the nail in the coffin, I think, of this administration. Their ability to enact their will is severely curtailed. They had to back off a lot of their. Now they're still trying, like they're still doing some crazy shit when it comes to all that. But the courts have held. The courts have shot down so much of what they've been trying to do. They've been trying to arrest protesters, right? They've been bringing people in, accusing them of violent assault, and their cases keep getting thrown out because they keep lying about it. So they haven't almost gotten zero convictions, right? Which is unheard of. It's amazing, right?
Even Sandwich Guy they couldn't get.
And
The
we
elusive
have
Sandwich
this
Guy.
like situation where I understand that they still have power and they still have controls and the levers of government and things like that, but they're just unable to govern. They're unable to enact their will besides certain unfortunate executive privileges that they have, such as they can do tariffs for so many days, like I think it's 60 days. He can use the military to attack other countries within certain limits and time frames. That is unfortunately, or fortunately, depending, right? It's in the purview of the executive branch to do that, and elections have consequences. He is the president. He gets to do certain things. But no one likes what he's doing, and his administration is losing on all fronts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we really will take the information war. Will win the hearts and minds. I think we're going to see a blowout like we haven't seen in decades.
I don't know about decades, but because look, I don't know if you guys know about like the 90s. We had some really big swings there. The 80s.
Yeah. We're probably not getting Reagan numbers.
No,
Yeah,
but we're
I
going to get.
don't know if you've
We're going to
forgotten,
get.
but
I would say we
there's-
get like at least 30 seats in the House, and I think that we have a real chance of flipping the Senate, which again, the environment that we're in is huge. So
yeah, we've got the issues to run on. Not only is it just we could almost win that just by running against the Trump administration, let alone having positive messaging. Well, okay, well outside of the negative messaging, Trump's so bad. Who do you like for positive messaging on the national stage these days?
I think Josh Shapiro does a really good job, at least in the governorship of my state.
Yeah.
He's able to get through red tape. If we look at, have you read Abundance at all? Have you read that book?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I've not read it.
Sure. One of the chapters in the book talks about Josh Shapiro and how he got through a lot of the bureaucratic red tape in order to rebuild a bridge, part of the interstate, right, that was damaged. And normally it would take months and months and months to do. He got it done in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's also been very, very good for business in Pennsylvania. So when we talk about like what should the Democrats run on, other than Trump bad, and Trump is bad, to be clear, I think that we need to talk about dinner table issues. Hey, I just bought groceries this week. They were $50 more than previous. We need to bring costs down, right? Have you filled your gas tank up recently? Oh, man, we need to run on getting those prices down to make it more affordable for the average family to be able to eat, to have a family, to buy a house, to build housing. I think that's a huge one. To get rid of a lot of the red tape around zoning, that's another huge one. And other such initiatives, we should be running on that. My worry, if I have some, I guess, shade to throw at Democrats, it would be this. Too many of them are like they go up to their mayor or to their dog catcher for the race for dog catcher, and they're like, well, what's your stance on Israel-Palestine? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
seriously.
even asking Mom Donnie seemed a little bit absurd to me. Like
It was absurd. Why are we
Yeah.
asking local politicians about their position on a foreign conflict. I understand asking that of a senator or even someone who is running for the House.
Someone who has some
because they're going
input
to
on
be able to vote on
international
these
affairs. Yeah.
But at the end of the
But a
day,
mayor.
at the end of the day, like the saliency of the foreign policy issues, I just don't see it has a, like, we care, but we don't care that much. It's what's in our wallets that's going to decide the election, and that's what we should be running on. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's just such a like a buffet of simple ideas. Like as simple as just I'm actually not going to start wars. I'm actually just not going to keep bombing Iran. They it feels like they're handing it to us on a silver platter, and I keep getting this sense of dread like they must have something planned. But I think we are just looking
No,
at
they're just
monumental,
stupid.
monumental
just
amounts of
stupid.
incompetence.
No,
They're
I
living
thought
in their
that as
own.
well. Like,
They've
if I may.
swallowed their own bubble.
Yeah. If I may, I thought that as well as first. Like, oh damn, like they must have like some sort of like
Secret
play,
weapon.
right?
Yeah.
Not a weapon so much as like they seeing things that I'm not, right? Like is there some sort of step-by-step program that they thought that they were going to implement that I'm just not seeing? But no, it turns out that they really did believe that tariffs were going to save the economy. They really did believe that going off towards foreign wars, they were going to win it easy. It was going to have no loss of life, and we were just going to get all good things and no bad things would happen. They really did believe that people would rejoice at ICE agents in the street. They really did believe all these things. They believed all these things, and they're just dumb. They're stupid. Anyway.
At what point is this like Ouroboros snake of misinformation eating its own tail? And I think we finally got there.
Yep.
Where they've been sniffing their own farts. They haven't had to actually run the country in over a decade. Since the Bush administration, they haven't actually had to be anything of a positive message or positive governance in the United States. All they've had to do is just tear down whatever the left wing does, and I think it's left them just deeply incompetent without any serious ideas.
Well, this is populism, right? It's not just the right. This is populism. This is the thing that makes populism unworkable. It's very easy to run on populism, and you can get elected on it fairly easy as well. But when it comes to having answers for how do we fix these things, how do we fix the problems that are going on in not just our foreign policy, but our domestic policy as well, you need people who know what they're doing, and populism doesn't reward that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't reward that at all. Like it's like those elites, right? Well, why do you think they're elite? Why do you think these people have all this money? It's not just because they got handed it to on a silver platter, but it does happen on occasion. Nepotism is a thing. But most of these people are able to be successful because they know what they're doing. They can get shit done. And populism just doesn't have that. And the other problem with populism is you, in order to win, exacerbate the actual problem itself. And what I mean by that is you make it seem way worse than it is, so people will give you power, right? Populism needs things to be bad. Otherwise, it doesn't gain power. It needs things to be terrible because otherwise no one will give them power.
Yeah. They prey off the fear, yeah.
And so with the power now in their hands, they don't have any answers, so they're just throwing shit at the wall.
They fired all their elite, right?
Right.
The deep
Anybody
state
that knew
or
what they
whatever.
were doing,
pulling from chat here, Rob says that Hillary was spitting when she said affordability and accountability. That's a great core messaging strategy for the Democrats. To echo what you said earlier, I've also had moments of doubt as to whether or not they've actually learned how to message on strong policy platform. It seems like the Democrats have figured it out. It seems like they've actually done it.
Okay. Here's the thing. This is my concern. I think that a blind monkey can beat Republicans this go round, right? That is actually my concern, right? Is we won't need to learn our lesson because MAGA is just can't do it, and anyone,
we don't have to learn
literally
it to
anyone
win.
could beat MAGA.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we don't have to grow, we don't have to learn, we don't have to
Develop
do
our new
anything.
politics. Yeah.
We just have to fog a glass, basically. And I worry that this is going to cause people to learn the wrong lessons. So we're going to win by a landslide, and we're going to think like, oh, that must mean everything the Democrats are doing is good. And that's not true. And that's going to set us up for failure. Because the Democrats do need to change how they do things. They are captured in a very real way by some extremists, and they need to get rid of those because they, MAGA is getting punished because it's extreme. It is way more extreme than our extremists right now. But once they're gone, they're going to look at our extremists, and what do you think is going to happen? The first party, be it Republican or Democrat, to get rid of its crazies and minimize its extremism is going to win by a lot for a long time.
Yeah. To just reascend to vague competence is all it would take to take over for a decade at least. Yeah. Let's hope that is not beneath the Democratic Party currently.
Well, to be clear, we have some great people. I think, again, Shapiro's one of them. What is her name?
I love Tallarico.
McKay, the governor of New Jersey.
Hmm.
Do you guys remember McKay? I fucking forget.
Was that the one that Hutch has been going over on about the interview they did with Crystal Ball? Is that who you're thinking?
No, that's Slotkin, who's also
loved her.
competent.
Yeah, I loved her. Yeah,
Slotkin's competent. We have Spanberger in Virginia, who's competent.
Mickey Sherrill. Mikey Sherrill?
Mikey Sherrill, yes, thank you. She's very
yeah.
competent. We have a pretty solid bench. Mamdani is competent, right? At least so far. Cross your fingers, right?
Ossoff, grassroots in chat says
Ossoff's good. Let's see. There's a guy in
Mark
Kentucky,
Kelly?
I think.
Oh, Bashir.
Bashir, he's real good.
Yep.
I think
what do you
that
think
if
about
we are able
Tallarico?
to get power, I think that we will govern better. I just worry that it'd
be hard to not do better. It'd be pretty hard not to do better.
I worry that it won't be that there will be
better.
enough crazy there in certain areas, especially the deep blue ones, that people will be able to paint that as all of the Democrats. But we'll see. Right now, though,
who are you worried about in the far left?
Well,
I've always bought into the line that the far left hasn't really made it into the government hugely.
Well, the fact that we have people looking to Hassan for support bothers me. Like Abdul, what's his name? Abdul Al.
Oh yeah, the gentleman that
the
he
one
had
in
on for the speech. Yeah,
Michigan right now for the primaries. He's leaning heavily on.
Abdul
I try not
Al-Sayed?
to
Yes.
I try not to compliment Hassan, but he's been remarkably well behaved there and on stage at Yale. As much as I have serious disagreements with maybe everything
Yale,
he does.
Where he said the USSR's dissolution was the greatest catastrophe of the 20th century. Do you think that was well behaved?
I would say well behaved.
Well, you are
I
a
think
communist.
he held
forgot.
No,
okay.
like I said, I disagree with that. I disavow that message utterly.
You just said he was well behaved when he's going over there saying it was sad that the USSR
he looked respectable for the cameras.
He was tame. He conducted himself in a way that, like, if you're not paying attention to the content of what he's saying, which a lot of people don't, it's going to come across as, oh, this guy seems reasonable, and like that's his whole thing, right? Is he fits in well enough to like slip in the bullshit
on his stream, and then when he gets onto a nice space he has to be on his best behavior and give his best liberal impression.
Regardless, though, I think that the people running cover for him, Mehdi Hassan, Ezra Klein, unfortunately, because I like Ezra Klein otherwise. I don't know why he's decided to go down this road. And then we have people like the Pod Save America people. it shows that he has some amount of influence, or at least they're trying to get him some amount of influence, and that influence is going to hurt us electorally. It's going to hurt us at the ballot box. It's going to hurt our ability to govern. The same thing that that happened to the Republicans, where MAGA just took them over and proved incapable. If we allow Hassan to continue to gain influence, or not even just him specifically, but the people around him,
That
like his whole
ilk, yeah.
ideology, again, the same thing's going to happen there. So yeah, I
Yeah.
worry about that.
Yeah, understandably so. We wouldn't want any communists affecting the main discourse of the world. It would be let's not look into that. All right. Perhaps we have dug into the red meat enough. Perhaps it is time to play some of our wonderful Marketplace of Ideas games
Okay.
and let loose a little bit. What
While
do you
we
think first, Kyle?
Well, we've got a couple options. I do want to say before we launch into games, we will of course have our Discord open for call-ins. So, Wick, do you happen to have a link to our Discord server?
No, you guys got to give me one, and I'll share
I
it.
think I
Beautiful. Well,
got one to your DMs now.
excellent. So that
yeah.
will
Up there, the one I linked you a couple messages ago. That is a link that'll work for call-ins.
Okay, I placed it in my YouTube chat, and I'll place
so
it in my
anybody who would like to join the discussion for the games we play, or if you'd like to bring up a topic to talk about, that both options are available to you. We hope to see you there. While you are in our Discord server, if you wouldn't mind jumping to our YouTube channel, maybe giving our video a like, and even subscribing to our channel if you see it so fit, before you jump back into Wick's
Or give it a
stream.
dislike if you hate communism. Feel free.
Both of those. Well, I don't know if we have dislikes anymore. But oh, good, my phone camera's off. That's wonderful news. So then, without further ado, we have two games prepared. Wick, we've got Podcaster Prisoner President, which is more or less a political fuck, marry, kill. And we've got Straw Man, Steel Man, where we give you a straw man argument, and you do your best to give a steel man take on that argument. Since you are our guest, I would leave it to you.
Let's do Straw Man, Steel Man.
Let's do it. Beautiful. All right. Why don't you load up your visual aids, Kyle?
Of course. Give me just 1 second. All of the preparation that I had done before the show was done away with, as I had to restart. But
glorious. This episode could not be going better. It really couldn't.
What you get when you put commies in charge?
You just can't trust us. You know what? Maybe you're onto something. Should I
black bars? Okay.
Perfect.
Will our tech problems disappear if I denounce communism once and for all? Or
you might as well give it a try.
They won't get worse.
It won't get worse. True. God bless America.
So we have our first straw man for Wick here. Netanyahu
can you
is
make
a
it bigger?
I can certainly try. Here, how about how we looking there?
Hold on.
Wait, did I lose you guys?
No, I'm still here. I think I clicked a button I shouldn't have on my end. But here we are.
I'll see now who's got the tech problem.
Yeah,
I'm just
look. It's because I'm allowing commies. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop and then I'm going to start again. Okay.
You're not zoomed in on the correct spot, Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm not zoomed in on the correct spot. Well, then what if I do this?
Okay, Netanyahu
just
read it to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could just read it to him. I don't know why you thought this was a great visual, Kyle.
Well, because last time we had issues where someone was like, I can't remember the prompt, and so I thought it would be nice to have the prompt on screen.
Lovely. All right.
So, Strawman 1, Netanyahu is a genocidal maniac that just wants to rid Israel and the world of the evils of Islam in order to maintain an ethno-state. Wick, are you able to steelman this position?
To steelman the position that he's a genocidal maniac. He wants to get rid of Islam, the evils of Islam, in order to have an ethno state.
Maintain an ethno state.
To maintain an ethno state. Can I steel man it?
Yeah.
Ah,
Give it your best shot.
sure.
What does the most
I understand.
reasonable version
Okay.
of this sound like?
We'll give you an opportunity to say what you believe. Don't worry.
That Netanyahu has engaged in propping up the worst of the worst of the Hamas and things like that, but he's doing so on purpose in order to gain power because he recognizes that without a strong internal or external enemy, that they'll liberalize. Their society will liberalize. They will get rid of their ethno-state. They will extend more rights to their Arab citizens. They'll allow for a right of return. So in order to stop that from happening, he has to prop up the evil Islam within its borders, right? He has to really emphasize that. He has to give people an internal enemy to fight against so that they will give him power, so he will gain security, right? And that's what he actually did. Like, that's an actual thing that he did. That was the promise when he got elected back in, I think, early 2000, right? I could be wrong on the date there, but the problem was that they had the second intifada, people were getting blown up and things like that, and he's like, you know what? I can keep you safe. I can keep these bombs from dropping on you. You elect me, and I'm going to keep you safe. And that's what they did, and here we are. So.
All right, I think that was a passing steel man. Well done. All right.
Now, what do you actually believe, Wick?
Well, I think that the reason that Israel has an ethno-state extends far beyond Netanyahu into its founding. I think that ethno-states aren't good, but when we look at it, is like you have to ask, if Israel were to extend membership to every ethnicity and allow for a full right of return, what would happen next? And I think that we've seen what would happen next, and they would be driven out of the region, right? The laws that protect them would cease to be because it would be voted out. And you'd have people like Hamas, Hezbollah, other bad actors able to take control of the region because simply they have more people. There are more of them, right? And that's what would happen. So.
Yeah, it's
unfortunate,
tragically difficult situation. Yeah, that's a terrible ball of yarn to try and make heads or tails of. And where is your intuition on what would be the best way to move forward on this one?
They need a two-state solution, and it's boring,
absolutely,
right? And a lot of people say that, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen because no one wants it. But if we want to solve the problem, it has to be either a 2 or 3 state solution, because you do need to give the right of self-governance to the people of Palestine. They need their own place, right? They need their own state. Will they get it? I don't know, right? But that would be the solution to the problem. Yeah, but here we are. So
when you say third state, do you mean like an intermediary state,
like the height of Golan,
like
right? Like you'd have a third state there, right? Like the kind of like to oversee and to act as
the halfway points,
an intermediary and things like
the
that.
Shared
There's
spaces.
different versions of it, but I'm not as familiar with the 3-state solution as I am a 2-state solution. So
yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've got our first straw man steel manned. That being said, we've got Rifleman 0311 in the waiting room, presumably hoping to join our conversation.
Go ahead.
I suppose we'll pull Rifleman over. Rifleman.
How are you this evening? Welcome in, neighbor. Welcome to the marketplace of ideas.
All right.
Good to have you,
brother. So we got two options. Right. We can have him ask if he has a questions for Wick. We could ask him. You could ask him the question, or we could have him play the game and have Wick rate his steel man. Okay. Do you have a question, neighbor?
Okay, yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess my thing is like the Democrats need to. Well, I guess you all agree affordability. But y'all need to blame Trump more. Like he's like I mean, he's screwing everything up, and like I don't know, like that message needs to be streamlined more, and of course, Hassan Piker needs to be disavowed because like non-crazy conservatives like me kind of feel uncomfortable with people like Hassan, and I feel like people like Hassan would unironically put me in a re-education camp if they could. I mean, like, if the Democrats put up a golden retriever, I'll vote for them at this point. I would vote for Joe Biden's urn and all that. So that's kind of my 2 cents. And I heard you're all talking about Israel Palestine. So
All right. So it seems that you feel like what we said earlier about leaning on affordability and accountability isn't enough, shifting the blame towards the Trump administration. Is that a fair way to summarize?
yes,
your
blame him.
position?
Blame him. Explicitly blame him for the
think
problems
we
that we're
are.
having.
I just look. I'll say this. I don't know how we could blame him more than we're doing right now. I think that we are Trump blame maxing, and that's good. But like when you say do it more, what do you mean? Can you give me a more specific way?
Yeah,
Like
what are we missing
are
that we ought
we
to be
not
doing?
saying is Trump's fault that we should be saying is Trump's fault?
So it's got to be a streamlined message, and like, so learning some things from MAGA. So, for example, like, and I'm not going to pretend I'm the expert on this, but like, I remember during the Biden years, every time, and I mean every single time something bad happened, Trump would get on True Social and say, "This would have never happened if I was president." Now, I don't say go full MAGA, like Tropic Thunder, don't go full, don't go full MAGA. It's like,
Kyle's
I don't know,
camera
like,
would never have died if Trump wasn't president.
That's
Okay.
true. I would have a functioning camera this entire time if we just had avoided
Yeah,
the Trump
that your
presidency.
girl cheating on you
well, like
wouldn't have
liberals,
happened under Biden. Okay, wouldn't have happened. She
Yeah,
I
wouldn't
would
have
have
got
been a liberal.
gangbanged
I
by
would
those
have.
five guys.
I would have
under
either
Biden.
been a
Wouldn't
liberal
happen.
or came on and known what communism meant. Okay, one of the
True.
two.
well, like that's another key feature is have a little bit more fun with it. Like
And he
mm,
had a
We need
little
more
more
AI
fun with it.
memes.
Okay, I mean,
We need more AI memes. Is that it? More AI Lego memes?
actually that may not be a bad idea. The like so if you look at social media, you'll see like these MAGA like pages or whatever, and like so many of them are bots. Like actually at this point I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of MAGA pages are bots. And well, not to say to go immoral, but you can learn things from the immoral people. Not
should we lie?
necessarily, hey,
Should we lie?
no,
Okay.
should not lie.
Then why? Then what? Like then? Yeah, I don't think it's immoral to just like. What are you suggesting that you think is immoral?
I'm not suggesting to do immoral things.
Okay.
I'm saying you can learn from the actions of the immoral. I'm not saying copy them, but we can learn from them. Like, say, for example, well, I mean, something Andrew Tate and Trump have in common, they're really good at getting eyeballs on them. So that's like Andrew Tate would say something like, "Oh, don't read books. Books is for losers." And then what would happen is everybody would look him up, swarm like his videos, and then they would watch his videos, and then they would see a slightly more nuanced. I meant Andrew Tate, by the way, but like they would see a slightly more nuance of that, where Andrew Tate would go like, "Oh, what I meant is you got to do more action in the world and less reading and all that stuff." And I think there's something to be learned from that. And I'm not going to pretend to be the guy with all the answers, but I don't know, there's something to be learned from how they do things, and we can learn a lot from how they do things because the anti-Trump coalition thinks and uses their brains, and the entire MAGA coalition is completely and utterly retarded.
Well, let me ask you this way: what is MAGA as an administration doing that you think the Democrats should do?
Get on social media. Get on Rumble specifically. The MAGA is absolutely infested Rumble. Like, try to get on to their talk shows and just like talk to them. And
yeah, I don't disagree with this. I don't disagree with going on more adversarial programs. I don't disagree with like going on Candace Owens, Tim Pool, all that, right, in an adversarial fashion, of course. I don't even disagree with going on Rumble and going to some of their talk shows and things like that, right? Yeah, that's fair.
Well, well, it's like there's got to be a more coordinated effort. There needs to be more leadership. I mean, Trump, for whatever he was pointing the party in a direction. So my name, Rifleman 0311, that was my MOS in the Marine Corps. So what I learned in there is combine arms, and what we learned is how to fight is you first use airplanes to drop bombs on them, artilleries to drop more bombs on them, and then mortars to drop more bombs on them, and then machine gunners.
What was your favorite crayon? What's your favorite crayon color to eat?
Purple.
Purple. It's good.
Yes.
Delicious.
And then the rifleman. Now, this was a bit of us tooting our own horns, but like the rifleman would cover the last 100 meters. So it's like you got to, I don't know, you got to work more together.
Defeat Trump.
Yep, purple crayon.
Just lots and lots of artillery. I don't think I disagree that maybe it's not a change in tactics we need. We just need to just keep pumping more firepower into it,
and
open up
also,
the hose.
Also unify, like coordinate, organize together, because like how much cussing am I allowed on this stream?
No slurs, nothing
Okay.
terribly offensive, but you can drop the basics.
Organizing, because these guys are dumb fucks. These are the biggest dumb fucks on the planet. And a little bit of organization and a little bit of thinking can go a long way with these all, because just like
we got a big eyebrow raise from Wick. What are you thinking?
I'm just fair. I agree. We're
sure.
Good.
Nothing terribly new here. Just keep going
like,
hard.
But
go harder.
Like coordinate, do more.
Yeah.
Right? Do better. Okay, fair enough. I just like
okay.
The same but more and harder.
Yeah.
But
here,
actually,
let me just say this.
Yeah.
I agree. Hold on, just say this, because I do have limited time, right? I don't have like all night, right? I'll say this. I hear you, and I agree that we should be flooding the zone with better messaging, and we should go on more programs to speak well and represent our side. Going on Rumble,
also be less
going
soy.
on Tim Pool, going to all these places. Those are good. That's what we should be doing. Be ready for it. Be train for it. Right. Get good messaging going, and learn how to better advocate for our side and ourselves. Yes, I agree. But like coordination, like a lot of the times I hear people like, and they just give these vagaries like coordinate better. Okay, right. Do better. Okay, right. Like, but I don't know. It's just like, okay,
well,
yeah, fair.
So coming from the Republican side, so something I noticed with the Republicans, we'll fight, we'll scratch, we'll pull hair, all that stuff, but then when the nominee comes in, we all get behind them, and like I find liberals more annoying now that I have to work with them. You're all like a bunch of herd of cats, like in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, that's the problem with the organizing in general. Yeah. Well, we appreciate your call, partner. Here on the Marketplace of Ideas, if Wick likes your call, he can award you up to 1,000 Griff coin based off he enjoyed your
Sure,
call.
I'm gonna give him all the Griff coin. Like
Give him all of the
Griff
Okay,
coin.
Kyle,
Like,
take all
I
of
want
the
all
Griff
the Griff
coin we
coins.
have
We're gonna
left.
call his Griff coin
All of the Griff coin
inflation.
we have left and give it to Rifleman. 1,000 Griff coin. Thank you, Rifleman. I appreciate you calling in, partner.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy that you took me.
Yeah. Thank you, neighbor. Have a great day. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right,
Welcome.
Kyle. Wick says he's got limited time. As much as Strawman Steelman is a fantastic game, it is not the fantastic game that I think people will enjoy.
well,
I think we should.
Do I hang up or do y'all kick me off?
Here, I can just disconnect you like this. There we go.
There we go. Incredible.
You know, we do have other things planned, and Wick, I do want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Really
I do want to be
appreciate ya.
respectful of your time. Do you have a hard out that you'd like to shoot for?
Another half an hour or something.
Well, we got probably less than that, unfortunately. We got about
Okay.
another 15 minutes, and then it's
Okay,
gonna be
beautiful.
past my bedtime, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
No worries.
Thank you
Well-
for staying up with us. Let's play a couple rounds.
Well,
Let's go for 2 rounds of what?
We do have another person hanging out in the waiting room, and it would be remiss to deny them their opportunity to join the call. So we've got
Okay, well,
Lethal Lance.
Let's have them play in on this round of podcaster prisoner president, because I would really like to get that on the air here.
Listen, I I love to play podcaster prisoner president, but I do want to give Lethal Lance space to say what he wants to say. So I'm going to pull Lethal Lance in
already.
Lethal Lance, you're on the Marketplace of Ideas once again. Good to see you again, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Do I sound better this time?
You sound great. We can hear you. We can hear you fantastic.
Glorious.
Okay, I got new earbuds, so.
Alrighty. So do you have a question for Wick tonight?
Yeah, I want to do a quick torture test of liberalism and see.
A quick
Wick's brain a little
torture
bit.
test for all of liberalism. Beautiful. What do you got for us?
Okay.
Yes, we're gonna torture liberals. As a communist, this appeals to me.
Well, I am a liberal, so I'm just. This is for liberals only. Okay, you can't. Your opinion is invalid. So.
Oof. Denied.
I have 2 ideas. One's more relatively tangible, like more real world in the moment, and one's more higher level, like an audit of our values. I don't know which one you want to go with.
Up to you, brother.
Whichever one is in your heart. Okay.
Okay. Well, I am probably more interested in the higher level
Then give
audit
it
of
to
the
me.
values.
Ask your question.
Okay. So, what's your opinion on the relationship between pure democracy and liberalism? Do you think to be the maximum liberal is to be maximum democracy, or do you think there's some limits?
One of the fundamental and core values of liberalism is individual freedom, and what that requires is limitations on what the government is able to do to you, and that implies that you do not let certain rights that you have get voted away. You enshrine them and say, I don't know, a Bill of Rights. That means that even if everyone on Earth wants to take this right away from you and they vote to do so, they're not allowed by contract, right? And I think that by the law, right? And I think that no, I don't think that pure democracy is compatible with liberalism, at least not in that sense. Now, we can argue about what the limit should be and how many limits there should be and all that, and that's all well within the liberal framework. But in order to have individual freedom, you have to have some level of separation from the government.
Okay, so what you're talking about is more limitations to what can be enacted through voting,
Democracy,
more like that.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Would you be open to any sort of restriction? This is going to sound bad, but trust me, I don't. It's not bad. I'm not a Nazi. Are you open to
Commonly
any sort
said
of
by
restriction?
people who are
Wait,
about
hold
to say
on.
something
Hold on,
totally
can
sane.
we just sit for a
Commonly
minute,
said.
like, okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm not a
What?
Nazi. Let's hear what you got. Okay, give it to me.
People have very knee-jerk reactions to this idea, but I think if we explore it, it's not as bad as it initially comes off. We open to any restrictions to access of voting.
Well, yeah, age
Age
for one,
Age, yeah.
right? I think that also if you are a felon, right, at a certain point, like depending on the crime, you might want to you'll lose your right to vote. Like for example, if you are found and convicted of voter fraud, you might lose access to that, right? That's just an off the dome thing. So yeah, I think that those two are easy limits that I can place: age, and if you are guilty of certain crimes.
I wanted to test your vibe check on this policy proposal. So I've been thinking. I've been
Try to make it quick, brother.
yes, I've been very upset with the whole political system and how it operates, and how we can never talk about actual policies. And it's always about appealing to the base, appealing to the base. We have to appeal to a base, but then the base doesn't actually care about actual policy, so we can never get the policy done. What would you feel about having to vote in federal elections? Local will be completely open. Federal elections, you have to pass the citizenship test, same test that immigrants have to pass to vote. Every
Yeah,
citizen
I don't
has
think
to
so.
pass the same test.
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think that has too big of too big of vulnerability to be abused, and also I think that even stupid people deserve a right to have a say in who governs them.
Do you think they have a right to, because federal government, that's why I leave the caveat for local, because what's the worst thing a state government can do, like impose a sales tax? Like,
The
but
state
for
government
federal,
can draft you for war.
State government can decide that you get subpar textbooks.
Yeah,
The
hold
government
on,
can
state,
decide
federal
that you
government. I'm
get
sorry. The
extra
federal
points for
government can draft you
crimes.
for war. The state government can do all sorts of things to you as well, right? Like there are things that like the government can, like eminent domain. It could just take your shit, right?
yeah, but then in the federal government, you can elect someone like Trump, and he can cause World War III and kill everybody.
Well, that's the unfortunate bit of democracy. Democracy is the belief that the
See,
people know what
I
they
don't-
want and they deserve to get it good and hard. Okay, so I
Man.
mean, yeah.
There you hear
Okay.
it. The people deserve to get it good and hard.
Yeah.
What
Well-
a wonderful place to wrap
They do
this
if
call a little
they do
bit.
if they elect Trump. That it seems to be.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of being controlled by the retarded masses. That's like, why is this the most
Well,
fair and
that's why
equitable
populism
system?
sucks, and
Then
people should
educate
vote
them.
for the elite. Okay.
Help
Yeah, but
get out
people
there
don't.
and make better people, okay? Make better people.
Okay, well, I'll leave on this
Spread good
sentence.
values to people.
The greatest defense against populism is probably restricting voting access. The type of people who are swayed by populism should not be the type of people deciding who we go to war with, you know, like through 2 degrees of separation from the president.
Hmm.
But yep.
All right.
Thanks,
Well,
Wick.
thank you for your call, neighbor. Would you like to
Lethal-
give him all the points as well?
All the points, every single
All the
one.
points for the gentleman.
Every
Glorious.
single bit
My
of fake
liberal.
currency coming your way. Lethal Lance.
Really
Thank you so much.
appreciate you. Really appreciate you calling in. And Wick, if we could ask for just a little bit more of your time to play a round or two of Podcaster Prisoner
You really want to
President.
play this game? Okay, we'll play it.
We think
not?
this is the game that's going to put us on the map, Wick.
Okay, let's hear it.
Even given our technical difficulties, our general incompetence,
Yeah, but you're also a
and our
communist. I don't
communism.
know if
Yeah.
I trust what you think, but go ahead.
You probably shouldn't. I don't trust what I think. It's a
Now-
constant struggle I live with.
Now, I, on the other hand, am not a communist. I am, however, an idiot and a Luddite. So there's plenty to criticize of me as well. That being
Beautiful.
said, I am very proud of this game. As trite as it is, it is probably the greatest thing that I've ever achieved. It is the game Podcaster Prisoner President, and it's validated by having its own intro.
Podcaster, prisoner, president.
See, it is a real show.
We're
Despite
a real show.
despite our pitfalls, we do in fact have a real show here,
Despite all evidence to the contrary, we are a real show.
and we do actually have an important visual aid for this game, where we have 3 pictures of different figures who we need to
I know
sort.
those guys.
You might. I thought that you might.
We hoped you'd be familiar.
Now, just to go over the rules, president is going to be whoever we think is going to. We're going to be comfortable with this person having enough of a mandate to get things done in their
I don't know
role
about
as president
comfortable,
of the
but
United
that's what
States.
they're going to get. Yes,
They're gonna-
gonna
yeah, they're-
be a president with a voting
Okay, this
majority.
might be boring for you guys because this is very easy. These choices
Okay.
are hard. Okay,
Mm,
we're gonna put Rob Knorr as the podcaster because
Okay.
I don't think that he's going to be able to influence anyone in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, no.
He's
no.
just he's going to be impotent. No one's gonna fucking watch him. We're gonna put Andrew Wilson as a
It makes
prisoner.
it easy from here.
right?
Yep,
Easy-
makes it
easy
easy from
choice.
here.
And then we're gonna put Admiral Gibbs as president because, man, I've hung out with Admiral Gibbs and we would party. Okay, like I would be in his
Fucking A.
cabinet and I would be able to enact my will. I
Yeah.
can influence Admiral Gibbs pretty easy, and I'd be able to stay his hand. Okay. So-
Pisco had very similar reasoning for Hutch in his decision making. So
that he could
that's valid logic,
manipulate him.
absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit of nepotism, nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Excellent. A nice
Alright.
fast round there. Admiral Gibbs is president. Andrew Wilson stuck in prison, and Rob
Beautiful.
Knorr gets to keep espousing his opinions. in
Someone
the-
will have to take care of Mr. Wilson's wife and children, but you know,
No. Oh no.
not
boy.
so different than it is today.
Wick coming
Anyway, go
after
ahead.
Wick coming after another man's wife in his memes. Another wife grab in this event.
Wick, I want to maintain your sleep hygiene. Can you give us one or two more rounds of this
Let's give us two
brilliant
more.
game?
These are quick.
Brill-
Yeah.
Beautiful. We've got some other people that you might be familiar with from the other side of the spectrum here. We've got the Live and Learn crew. We've got Pisco. We've got Soy Pill, and we've got Hutch. How would you sort these different gentlemen
Okay,
into our
Hutch is
three
easy
categories?
president. Hutch is easy president. Me and him have
Easy president.
very similar political goals and political instincts. Easy time. We're gonna put
Love me some
Pisco as a
Hutch.
podcaster because I think that we need more people familiar with law and we need more expertise in podcasting. And while I often disagree with Pisco on certain issues, and the way he goes about certain conversations, I think that he is a fantastic lawyer and he's fantastically intelligent when it comes to law. So we'll keep him there. Soy Pill gets to be in prison.
Oh,
So-
sorry, Soy Pill.
Because
Is-
I'll
is-
visit
Alright.
him. Okay, he's gonna work out. He won't be anyone's bitch. Okay, he'll be able to
True.
defend
yeah,
himself.
he's probably the most likely to
jacked,
be able
bro.
to defend
he
himself
will.
in
He will
there.
be able to run the yard. Okay, so
He'll-
he's the most. If anyone's gonna survive prison, Pisco won't. Like Pisco would be the bottom bitch immediately. Like he'd be passed around like
Oh,
a cigarette. Okay. Hutch, unfortunately, he's got scrawny little arms. Okay. Same thing's gonna happen to him, right? But Soy Pill, he can handle.
He's got his
himself.
head shaved.
So, yeah.
He could join the Aryan Nation gang and maybe get through that way. But that wouldn't be great for him. We won't put him through that. We'll leave him as president in that case.
Very good. Hutch gets to lead the free world. Pisco gets to tell the world what he thinks, and Soy Pill gets to fend off all the brutes.
I think he'll
in-
make some great friends. Soy Pill seems like the kind of person that can make friends wherever he goes. So I think, maybe he'll turn around that prison.
Maybe so. One can only hope. Well, with our final round
I'm a
of
big dreamer.
podcast,
I believe in big, stupid ideas like that. With the last round, what do we have for him?
we've got three more people that I think Wick will be very familiar with, and perhaps has even interacted with a few. We have some of the biggest names in the online brain rot space. We've got Mr. Stephen Bonnell, aka Destiny. We've got Hassan Piker, and we've got Asmongold. How do we sort these three folks?
See, this one's a little harder. Okay, it's a
Mm.
competition for prisoner. Let's do this, and this might surprise some people. Asmongold
Okay.
for president,
Oh my
Ooh.
God!
and I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
I'll give
Oof.
you the rundown on why. Okay, I think Asmongold is probably the most easily influenced out of the bunch. Like, I think that he'll just believe anything that his Twitter feed shows him, and I think that we can, like, get his feet up to. Also, I don't think he'll be able to govern either. He'll be a lame duck president. I just don't think he'll do well. So there we go. I would put Destiny as a podcaster because I think that's where he shines. Sam Piker gets to go to prison.
That
We
one
all
is the
knew it.
one that I think I did, as you probably expected, I was thinking you would put Mr. Bennell in the president's seat. But dear Lord, now
Plot
that I
twist.
think about it, yeah, Bill Clinton would, yeah, eat his heart out.
That's the thing. Destiny and presidential power. Look, Destiny's a good guy in certain ways, but that much access to that much pussy, it would it wouldn't.
You know what?
work.
Maybe he would be distracted the whole time, and
It
therefore
wouldn't work.
Just...
Like all look, Qatar would just send its baddest baddies, okay, and we'd be sunk, okay. Like that'd be it. Yeah, so we gotta keep him, unfortunately, for now in the podcast seat.
And you know what? To his credit, as a podcaster, he is very effective at engaging in the political
he'll do
space.
well.
So I think that's Asmongold will hopefully be contained by his own incompetence as president. Destiny gets to keep streaming, and Hassan is stuck in prison, unable to reach the public anymore. Well. That has been a wonderful game of podcaster, prisoner, president, and we are past the point where Wick has a bedtime that I don't want to get in the way of. So, Wick, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us and putting up with our dinky little show.
And to everyone else watching, I promise the next time any of you see our show, it will be less terrible. I was gonna say great, or better, but we'll shoot for less terrible this time. And the next time you see me on Wick's show, I will be less terrible of a communist too.
I don't know if that's possible unless you become not a communist. But no,
I don't think I could
I'll-
possibly not improve on my definitions this week.
You'll have a better answer, I hope. But that'll be next
hope.
week, and we'll see you there. And any of you are willing to call in. But thank you for having me. I have just for my audience, I have a link to their show in my YouTube description. If you like what you had to see, go click that link, and you can give them a follow or subscribe or whatever. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna
Thank you so much,
peace out
Wick.
from this for now. So
I appreciate you, neighbor. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Wick.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch to my Discord, and I'm gonna read some of these super chats you gave me, and we're gonna have a little outro. Okay, is that okay, gang? I hope it is, because that's what we're doing. Give me a second. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. No, that was an experience. Did you guys enjoy it? 1's in chat if you liked the show. 2's in chat if wasn't your big thing. Wasn't your thing. Okay, it's up to you. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I'll tell you what I got coming up in the week. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Freshly exhumed. Thank you. Tier 1 membership. Really appreciate you, sir. Grassroots Hegemon for $10 says, you're wrangling 2 musicians from Portland. I'd rather heard cats. They're both from Portland? Are they musicians? Have they done music? Can I hear some of their music? I'd be very interested. $20 from Rifleman. Affordability, affordability, affordability. And it's all Trump's fault. This is how Dems win. Fair enough. $10 from Lawson Harrison. Personally, I don't want my dog being caught by anyone who doesn't recognize Israel as a genocidal ethno-state, but each their own. Like I said, I just don't think we need to purity test our candidates, especially at a local level, for things that they're not going to have a lot of control over, if any. Like, I just don't care what my mayor thinks about Israel-Palestine. Just don't. Outside of really extreme circumstances, like, I think all the Jews should be killed, then that's a different story, right? But like, yeah. Okay. Lord of the Nerds for $5 says, admitting you vote Dem no matter who is an admission you would vote for a socialist or communist every time. Bernie is a lefty test proving this. Almost none of the Democrats that are running are socialist or communist. There's like a couple. Okay. And even Bernie isn't a Democrat. he caucuses with the Democrats, but he's an independent. So yeah. I don't think that's necessarily true. Rifleman for $2 says Tucker, Candace, Nick. Are we talking prisoner podcast president type deal again? And I'm assuming Nick Fuentes. Let's put Candace in the oh, this is hard. Let's put Candace as the podcaster. We'll put Nick Fuentes as the prisoner, and we'll put Tucker as the president. None of these are good choices for president, to be clear. Yeah, I don't know. Well, hold on. No, I'm going to change it. Candace gets to be the president because she's crazy. And I think that's better than the calculating evil that Tucker would be and Fuentes would be. I'll put Fuentes in prison, and I'll put Tucker as a podcaster. And that's what we'll do. Sounds good, gang. There you go. Hope I answered that correctly. Cervantes says it was cringe. Apex Valkyrie says it was Jill. Solgloctavicher says Soglo Activate says 1.5. It needed more structure. Fair enough. I don't know. It was fine. I'm always down to go on shows like this and try them. Tomorrow, we're going on a Wix show, gang. We have a debate about Plattner. Should the Democrats accept Plattner into their ranks? Should we endorse a Plattner Maine Senate run? We got two wonderful people to debate that. We have Jola Politics and we have TK. Okay. Should be an interesting round. Wednesday, we're going to have a debate on communism. We're going to have Kraut. We're going to have, what is this gentleman's name? Let me remind myself before I get it wrong. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Give me 1 second, please. Charsky. That's his name. Charsky. And that should be an interesting debate as well. And then, finally, last but not least, Thursday, we're going to have Destiny, and he's going to be talking to Sid. And they're going to be talking about progressivism. It's going to be a good week. Gang, if you like what you have to see, if you enjoy me as a person, okay? If you enjoy me as a show, give me money. Your super chats go to giving me money. And I like money. And I use it to do things such as eat and pay the internet bill, right? So, yeah, give me your money. Super chat if you want to support me. Like, subscribe, all those things. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Sound good? I hope so, because that's what we're doing. Bye.